And today we've got a reading for you about somebody who is hoping to have a conversation with you, even though there's been some reasons in the past why the two of you could not be together. They're hoping that if you talk it through, maybe you can find a way to make it work. So even though you feel like you shouldn't, even though they've felt like they shouldn't want you, they still are drawn to you. And it seems like whoever this reading is for, you've still been drawn to them as well. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of some time or a lot. Happy Friday. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box along with more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. We're going to dive in with, we're going to go with the Soul Cat Tarot. And let's say, what's up? What do we have? Ooh. 2 cards that are flipped over. Okay. It's more than 2. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Hello, Egyptian Empress. How are you doing? Happy Friday to you as well. So we have the 9 of Cups in the reverse. Someone who felt like if they pursued a connection with you, they would be seen as selfish. Someone who has definitely felt like there are people that are gossiping about you, like the 2 of you specifically. Six of Pentacles in the reverse. 10 of Wands and Judgment in the reverse. So I didn't feel like I could pursue anything, or I didn't feel like there was a chance of us actually having a long-term connection. So I felt like I had to just kind of keep my emotions to myself or accept that the 2 of us cannot be together. There's just too many people who don't like that. So we have Judgment in the reverse, either a failure to make a decision or someone deciding that's against my better judgment. I don't think I should do that. Probably the latter. Glad to hear it, Carrie. What else? Ace of Pentacles. Look at how cool that cat is. Maybe a Maine Coon. Ace of Pentacles is clarifying the 9 of Cups in the reverse. So this is like, I still want something. I still want to make an offer, or I still want to have that long-term stability with you. But I feel whoever I'm reading for, you or your person, possibly both, there's been this focus on like avoiding relationships or not wanting to fall in love with anybody new, because if I hold that space a little bit longer, maybe there's something that will work out between the 2 of us. Hello, Nick. Hello, Taylor. How are you doing? Hello, Angel. 9 of Wands in the reverse and 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like we have maybe both of these individuals, but at least one person's like, I don't know, man, I could get to know somebody, but I know I would just be comparing them to this person from my past. I know I would just be looking for that person that I'm still interested in or still in love with. Hello, Lotus. How are you doing? Hello, Jack. Hello, Mitel. How are you doing? Hello, Darnell. So we've got the Knight of Cups and the Hanged Cat. Ooh, isn't that a cool card? So we've got someone who feels like maybe I've been holding space for this person from my past because I'm still hopeful that there's going to be something that changes in our social dynamic or in our living situation that enables us to revisit these feelings. But there's been this loneliness or maybe even depression for one or possibly both, as they're kind of kept in this like in between, right? They can't necessarily say that they're together with this person, but they also can't necessarily move on. So it could be that we're facing a decision time or a moment where finally there's some closure or some opportunity to move forward. Hello, Grindhard, how you doing? Nice try carding. Do you even have a brother? You can hang out if you would like to be a little bit more respectful. Otherwise, just keep in mind, we do like to play whack-a-mole around here. All right, so I'm just gonna remove that. So we've got the Nine of Cups again in the reverse. The first card from both of the tarot decks that I've pulled through or pulled from, and these are cards that talk about selfishness. If I pursue something with you, then someone's going to judge me harshly, or perhaps a whole bunch of people are going to judge me harshly. Perhaps there is some other person involved where you have an ex or they have an ex and they would be upset. If the two of you were to get together, we've got the Five of Wands, so there could be a little bit of competition or someone who feels like it's not easy to set aside the expectations of others. We have the Knight of Cups or Knight of Chalices in the reverse again, and this time it's feeling more so like I didn't make an offer or I didn't pursue the person that I wanted because I know there are people that would judge me harshly for it. Hello, Kassan. How are you doing? Hello, Jacob. How's your day? We've got the High Priestess, secretive energy, feeling like I can't say anything about who it is that I want, but also because I am so fixated on one person, I'm not really looking for love anywhere else, and therefore this person or both people are kind of robbing themselves of the ability to be happy because they have assumed that there's only one person that could make them happy, right? Hello, Renee. How are you doing? We've got the Three of Pentacles and Death. I think this is saying there's been a change with regards to who somebody is connecting to or who someone would consider to be within their friend group. With the Three of Pentacles, we're talking about connections or like who do you regularly see, who would potentially judge you if the two of you were to get into a relationship. There's an end of a friendship or end of a relationship, falling out that makes someone feel like maybe now I could actually pursue a relationship with that person. We've got the Hanged Man again in the reverse and the Ace of Wands. So now that there's been some change in connections or some change in a mindset, we have someone willing to revisit the idea of the two of you being together because there's fewer consequences, because there's fewer people to judge, right? Good for you, Lotus. Oh, we don't wish for that, Jacob. Thank you, Grindhard. Let me write that down real quick. I hope you have some fun weekend plans. Talking about you today. Miss you around 10:38 a.m. How's she reacting to the miss you text? How react? All right, I've got that written down, Grindhard. You're the first person too, by the way, on that list. Hello, Kratos. How are you doing? Hey, Krista or Kratos. I'm sorry you're having a rough day. If you want to have some more positive energy, you're welcome to hang out. There's some really awesome people in the live chat. But if you're just going to sit there and insult me, then probably going to block you. Hello, Sundar. How are you doing? Yes, it's true. So we've got the Three of Cups in the reverse and Temperance in the reverse. saying everybody looks at the situation as not a good idea. I can't believe you would actually pursue that, or why would you think that it's okay for you to flirt with your sibling's ex? There's definitely some harsh judgment coming through. It may not be a sibling, but I do feel like there's someone here who's gone no contact. They're not really interested in what other people have to say, or at least they're not interested in what this particular person has to say anymore. That's the right way to handle that, Jacob. If you'd like to steal my approach, if there's someone who gets a little bit angry on the highway, I like to do the Forrest Gump wave. Hello, what's up, Real Curve? I hope you're having a good day. So we've got the Magician in the reverse as well. We've got the Seven of Pentacles and the Fool. So now there's a fresh opportunity, and they're saying, I want to invest. I know there are people who don't think that the two of us should be interested in each other, but this is what I want. So they're not giving up, they're not backing down, and they feel like something here has changed to allow it to have a different outcome. Okay, happened between, thank you, Grindhard, jealous friend and her. And does she still want to move in soon? So many visions. All right, I got those added for you. Thank you, Grindhard. All right, sounds good, Grindhard. Let's get a different tarot deck. I think we're going to go with the Masonic Tarot. Keep in mind with the Masonic Tarot, the gold looks like it would be pentacles, but it's actually associated with the fire sign, so that would be like wands. What's up, Jack? Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Lotus. Enjoy. So we've got the Page of Swords in the reverse. Another reference to gossip. So perhaps there was gossip that ended up causing a falling out that may not have even had anything to do with you or with your person, depending on who this reading is for. But we've got someone who basically is saying, I've had to keep something secret, or I haven't been able to really be honest with people. And when they're honest, then all of a sudden it's like the perception of the social group shifts. So it could be, I can't believe that you would consider flirting with your best friend's ex when your best friend is still like, you know, in love with that person. And then the opinion starts to shift because the social group finds out that that friend had been cheating on their person the entire time. Then they might be a little bit more understanding if you are interested. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's something here where they're like a little bit less concerned because there was some dishonesty on the part of the person who was having some issues or judging this pair. Hello, Bitchy Tata, what's going on? Hello, Anthony. Oh, I'm sorry you're having a rough day, but I hope your weekend gets better. Oh, come on, Jack. You've been watching long enough to know I don't like it when people tell me what to say, right? I feel like you know that. Hello, Tucci. Hello, Key Controller. What's going on? So we've got the Three of Swords in the reverse, Five of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, this is saying what was previously a problem or what was previously an obstacle for us, it's been dealt with. I've like handled it, or things are different now, so I don't have to be as concerned with what everybody else thinks about the two of us being together. So we had this listen card at the beginning, which is basically saying, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not twisting anything. Some of you may feel like this doesn't sound like it's accurate, that these two really are no longer talking, or that people are less judgmental about this pairing. but it looks to me like they're telling the truth. He loves you too. I'm just going to remove that because I want to remind you that in the live chat, we don't allow for people to be judgmental of belief systems. So you're welcome to hang out, but you're going to have to be just a little bit kinder. Well, that's cool, Chris. All right, and then we've got the King of Swords in the reverse and the Five of Gold, which is the Five of Wands. Yeah, I feel like there's an argument here and someone goes too far. They say something that maybe they should have kept to themselves. I feel like it's insulting somebody else, but exposing what they had actually done. So I feel like the change in social environment is that people no longer look at someone who may have been in a relationship with you or your person as like the victim or someone that should be like protected, because they realize they weren't really being respectful towards others to begin with, or that they had been cheating on someone the whole time. All right, so this is the Jack-o'-lantern tarot. Let's see what else we've got for you. Oh, that's cute. You're personifying it. Interesting. Hello, Matthew. How are you doing? I hope you have some fun weekend plans coming up. Anton, if you would like to be respectful, you're welcome to hang out. We've got the Four of Pentacles again and Six of Wands. So this is like, I feel like the time where we had to be kind of secretive, or I had to be quiet about how I felt about you, that time has passed. Six of Wands. Now it feels like the timing is better, or that maybe we could actually be in a relationship without everybody judging us for it, because they don't look at the situation the same way that they did before. We have the King of Wands and the High Priestess, because someone here had been secretive about what they'd been really doing, whether or not they'd been a good friend or a good partner in a relationship. So it's like people are no longer invested in judging your forbidden love. It's like, well, I don't know, maybe we don't really need to be involved in other people's business like that, or maybe that person doesn't really know what they're talking about anyways. Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, and the Chariot. So I think there's this communication that you get from this ex, or not really ex because you didn't really get to be together, but this person that you've been holding space from or for, and they're basically saying, hey, I think we should give it a chance. I think now is a better time. I think now we could actually like not have to worry about what everybody else is saying or thinking, and actually be able to be happy. So they're saying, let's give it a go. I like it. This is the truth is. What else do we have? So it looks like the person who had previously been very whiny or judgmental about the two of you being together, this person is not as innocent as they tried to make themselves out to be. It turns out they didn't really appreciate what they had when they had it, or they've been dishonest about how they handled the situation with you or your person. So they may have a few people that are no longer interested in being a friend, or they may have had a few people decide to cut them off. We've got the future, becoming clear about your vision of the future. Someone here is saying, maybe I've not been able to connect with anybody else because I really did want to have an opportunity to be with you. We do have the, I don't know how YouTube does with this word, but if someone were to be physically mean to you, that's what this card is showing. So we could have someone who stepped out on their relationship with you or your person, or we could have somebody who was not being respectful or treating you well, or your person. And if this information comes out, that would explain it, right? Then there's people who are like, well, maybe it's a good thing that you're moving towards a healthy relationship, or that you have let go of that not healthy, toxic relationship, right? This is the Cook's Tarot. We have the Chariot again. Someone who feels a sense of urgency. It feels like we could actually have an opportunity, so I don't want to miss that chance. I'm going to find a way to communicate with you or see you in person and tell you that what I really want is you to actually be available and you to be interested in taking this opportunity. They're going to say the person who is sabotaging us or who didn't want us to be together is not in the picture anymore. This is not somebody they're talking to anymore, or everybody's perception of that individual has changed. Could be both. We've got the Seven of Wands, divine timing. It's the right time. They're kind of excited. I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit restless and trying to figure out what they should be doing. They didn't really think that it would get to this point where they actually could pursue you like this. So they may be a little bit like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Hey girl, hey, what's up, daughter of Saturn? I hope you're having a good day. This is the Gilded Reverie. What else do we have, please? We have the Snake, which is number 7, and the Magnifying Glass, which is number 44. The person who was gossiping, or the person who was talking negatively about the two of you being together, has been exposed as a liar, or had been themselves hiding how they've been treating the two of you, or one of you in particular. So now this illusion has been discovered, this lie has been exposed, and that's why we have somebody who's feeling lucky. Like, okay, well, let's go hang out. Let's have a chat. I want you to think about whether or not you'd like to actually pursue me, because I feel like now we actually have like an opportunity. Now we aren't facing the same amount of gossip or people who are judging us, people who feel like, you know, it would be wrong for us to be together because it would hurt someone's feelings. Now they're looking at it as, well, you know what? I don't know if we really need to protect that person. Hello, Leon. How are you doing? It is, isn't it, Bitchy Tata? All right. What else do we have? The Lovers in the reverse, the Two of Swords, the Seven of Rods or Seven of Wands, and the Horseman of Rupees, which is the Knight of Pentacles. So even though it's taken a long time, even though I've felt for a long time that I wouldn't be able to pursue you or admit how I feel for you, there's been a change in the dynamic, and sometimes time enables us to pursue things in a different way if we're patient. So they feel like it's been good that they have been patient and have not got caught up in some kind of silly relationship or situationship. They feel like the new chapter ahead is going to be one that is happier because they don't feel restrained or restricted, and they feel like they can be more honest about how they actually feel for you. All right, let's see. This is the Crow Tarot. What else do we have? My Inspector Gadget. Hey, Jacob, come on now. Who's talking about that? Hello, Lisa. How are you doing? What else do we have? Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. After a long period of waiting, someone's anxious and eager. It's like, I think I've waited long enough. I'm going to go make a pretty serious love offer here because I know this is the person that I want to be with. Yeah, Page of Cups. 8 of Wands in the reverse, 3 of Swords. So I can make you this offer, or I'm comfortable asking you on a date because I know that person who would be mad about it is no longer in our social group or is no longer like being taken seriously. Hey Teddy, if you would like to be respectful of others' beliefs, you're welcome to come back, but we don't really like that judgy attitude. You know? Hello Ashley, how are you doing? Thank you, Jacob. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even see that. So we've got the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, six, no, it is the nine. Nine of Cups in the reverse, King of Cups. So now we've got someone who's feeling like it's not selfish anymore. I don't feel guilty. I feel like I should be able to pursue the person that I want. There's a new chapter or a new start here, and what they want is you by their side. They don't want to be worried about what everybody else is going to say, and at this point, they feel like this is as good as it's going to get. Hello, Yesh. Hello, Huda. How are you doing? Hello, Jalissa. How are you doing? All right, so we've got Strength, the Fool in the reverse. Yeah, they feel like where they were previously gossiped a lot about, or people were saying like negative things, now the people who were judging harshly feel a little bit foolish because they didn't really do their due diligence, or they didn't really know what they were talking about. They only had access to part of the information. Now these people are like, ooh, sorry, I guess I had it wrong. You're good to go, you know? So we've got the Queen of Cups, love. I think this person's about to make a pretty serious love offer. They want to first tell the object of their affection that things have changed in the social dynamic, that they don't have to worry. But I do feel like this is someone who's been making plans. They might have more to tell you than just the drama is basically over. They may have been working on themselves as well, doing some work with regards to finances or their emotional health. Because they feel like it's the right time for more than one reason. It's not just because people are no longer talking. It's also because they feel better about being able to stand up for themselves, or they have more confidence than they did in the past. Hey, Hayden, how are you doing? Hello, AJ. What's going on? Thank you, Jalissa. Wow, so we've got the drama queen, thirsty, causing chaos. This is the person that everybody sees differently now. So previously we were upset on your behalf, but now we see that you were just stirring up all this drama for a selfish reason. You wanted everyone to judge this as like, you know, disrespectful or situationship, but maybe there's actually feelings. When the receipts come out, this drama queen ends up having to retreat or even like apologize for what they've said or implied. And all the people who've been watching this are like, okay. So I guess we don't have to be so upset if you two fall in love or if you two get into a relationship. So now we have two people who had been holding space for each other, realizing that they have an option or an opportunity to actually focus on each other. There's no one else I want. I just want to be with you, and now I actually can. So a relatively positive outcome, but let's get a few from the Romance Angel Oracle, and then I'm going to start with the personal questions, okay? Hello, Kenneth. I do offer long-form personal readings if you want to email me. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box as well if I said that too quickly. Hello, Kaylee. Yes, I do. Hello, Molly. What's going on? Kaylee, I would just say, though, let's keep the politics out of it. I would like to make sure that we don't get into any difficult conversations. So we've got give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So I'm reaching out to let you know the circumstances have changed. I'm not friends with that person anymore, or people realize that they were lying. So they're basically extending that option to you, saying, are you in or are you not? Like, have you still been waiting for me? Do you want to pursue something? You know, that kind of thing. Exactly. Hello, Molly. How are you doing? What else do we have? honeymoon, and heart-to-heart conversations. Yep, so these conversations that have not happened because of concern that your love is forbidden or people are judging it, they seem to dissipate or they're relaxed. And now you're able to actually invest in this connection. There could be some traveling that you do together, or there could also be a very quick path towards exclusivity or even engagement. So yeah, they feel like those obstacles have been removed. Thank you, Ashley. I've got that written down for you. Once I get through Grindhard's questions, you'll be next after that. And I think it is actually a pretty good time to switch over to that. So I think Grindhard had said he's going back to work, but I will start with his questions. We've got, has there been positive talk about Grindhard from future wifey Micah today? Has there been some positive talk about Grindhard? Yes, there has. We've got the Four of Wands and the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. This looks to me like she is acknowledging who she needs to distance herself from or what needs to change. And there's something here about positive energy or feeling very like positive about what could potentially happen between the two of you. And then we've got, was she missing him at 10:38 a.m.? I love the specificity. Hey, Aqua Beauty, how you doing? Was she missing him at 10:38 a.m.? Not at 10:38 a.m. It looks like there was something that was happening here. We've got Death in the reverse, Judgment in the reverse, and the Moon in the reverse. She does tend to deal with a lot of BS. I don't know who she's spending time with or if she works with somebody who's pretty difficult, but it feels like at that time she was stressing about something. Was she missing him earlier? Yes. So it was before that. So maybe it just took a little bit of time for that energy to reach you. How did she react to the miss you text? How did she react to the I miss you text? Two of Pentacles in the reverse, 10 of Wands in the reverse, and Page of Cups. It looks to me like this was something that was received as that was like the right time. I needed something to kind of pick me up because there is some instability. So it was like a smile in the midst of some frustration. So a nice little oasis of joy or a reminder that somebody has good intentions. So she did like that. And then what has happened with the jealous friend and future wifey for Grindhard? What happened between the jealous friend and Micah? We've got the Seven of Cups in the reverse, Queen of Cups, and the Four of Swords. Seven of Cups in the reverse is clarity around something that had previously been a bit of an illusion. And since we have the Two of Swords coming out, this is my card for cutting somebody off, by the way, in this deck anyway, for obvious reasons. So I feel like there's something here that was exposed. This jealous friend was not able to mask that jealousy and she saw it. So I do feel like there are boundaries here. Queen of Swords is about boundaries. She may be looking at it as I just need like some space, or she may have ended the friendship. It's true. All right, and then is she ready to move in soon? Is she still ready to move in soon? Not soon, but I do feel like she's working towards that. I think she wants to make sure that everything is the way it should be. She wants to make sure she feels comfortable. But I do love that we have the Two of Cups coming out because this is like, I'm feeling more so like I can trust you, or I feel more so like you want good things for me and that you're not someone with hidden intentions. And what's the deal with Grindhard seeing so many visions of her lately? We have the Fool, King of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. I think you're seeing more or feeling more of her energy because she is starting to tear down those walls a little bit. I do feel like she has a lot of walls. It could be a lot of deconstruction required, but this King of Cups to me is emotional maturity. And I feel like this is saying I'm ready to be a little bit more in tune with my intuition and discernment. I'm not going to be like willfully ignoring when somebody has been respectful or treated me kindly. So I feel like she's having that honest conversation. I know who I need to cut off, or I know who I need to go into contact with, but this is probably something that's okay. So you're feeling all of that introspective energy. All right, I'm going to switch to a different tarot deck, and then we will answer the questions for Ashley. Grind hard, you know we're rooting for you. Hello, August. How are you doing? Do you? That's awesome, Ashley. All right, so what do we have for Ashley regarding the no contact situation with Bruce, please? We have Nine of Cups, the Lovers, Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Wands in the reverse, the Moon, the Chariot, Five of Swords. So it feels to me like there is an awareness that what I want is to be with you long term. What I daydream about is a long-term relationship. You made me happy. There's no one that really compares to you. So there's definitely emotion here, but there's also a sense of keeping a decent chunk of his life from you. So you don't necessarily know what all he's been battling or dealing with, in part perhaps because there's some embarrassment, in part because maybe there's someone else's privacy that needs to be considered, but there's secrets here that have been overwhelming and have distracted or caused chaos. And I do feel like he is about to remove himself from that situation or find some way to address it so it isn't actually a block to your relationship. So this Chariot is, in my opinion, the most positive card in this pull because it's indicating I know what I need to do, or I know I need to go somewhere else because this has been causing a block, right? Yep. So those issues, I feel he's at the point now where he understands this is situational or environment. Can I move somewhere else? Can I work somewhere else? What can I change within my life so that those issues that I need to deal with are easier for me to deal with, or so that I can stay consistent in that approach, right? So we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, Page of Wands. A loss is a good thing because it pushes him towards a new beginning. So if I lost my job, or if I'm no longer talking to my best friend, whatever kind of like bump in the road it is, it motivates Bruce to think about, okay, what do I want to do? I could maybe do something different. I don't have to follow the path that I originally thought was my only choice. So lots of introspection and a desire to move forward or move closer to where you two could reconcile, which I'm excited about for you. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes, and I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.